Good morning. On this episode of Sovereign Spirituality, Deep Thoughts by Natalie Marie Edition, I am going to talk about the solar flares that we've been experiencing the last couple of days. Today is October 4th, and we've been hit with some pretty large solar flares. And the way that I understand what these do to our energy bodies is it's very powerful energy that is just kind of sent towards Earth, and then it affects us as we are all energetic beings. However, it affects us all differently. The way my understanding is that what happens is when we get hit with these blasts, they bring up emotions, basically. Like, think of it as shining light on your shadow. So it brings up stagnant things in your energy body, things that you don't want. It's shadow work that you don't want to look at, that you don't even know are there. And it's kind of like, hey, let's clear this out of your space. Let's make more room for light. That is really what shadow work is. That's really what healing is all about, in my opinion and in my practice. So when I say to people when they ask me about these things, like, oh, it's weird energy, and it is, or I use the word interesting a lot because that is neither good nor bad. It just is, and that is kind of what this is, right? If you have negative emotions, they're going to come up. So you can take a look at them, so you can process them, and then you can get rid of them and bring in better energy. That is really just how your energy field works in general. That being said, getting hit with these ones, it feels like we're going to have a lot of emotions brought up, whether they're good or bad is depending on what's in your energy field. And I suggest grounding, right? It's a lot of things. So you can get, like, your body can feel, anxiety, that's going to be a big one. If there's things that, if it's negative emotions that you don't want to deal with, show up as anxiety, uneasiness, like just emotions that these words are like that. I have them better in my head. Things that you're feeling and maybe you don't know why or where they're coming from. I suggest grounding, getting outside, walking barefoot, whatever things that you do to get yourself grounded. And then like, all of this coming up makes me think of this conversation that I had with my 14-year-old daughter last night, who was navigating an argument with her friend. And I was, like, we automatically say, don't cry, or, I'm like, it's okay to cry and it's okay to feel these feelings. Don't live there. How, as an adult, that's hard for me to comprehend and have to remind myself, is to not live in our emotions. So to be able to translate that to a 14-year-old who is full of, like, raw emotions that they may be feeling for the first time, or they're just so supercharged because of the age, I think that's a good reminder for us as adults at any age, that we don't have to live in our emotions, that we can feel them, but they don't have to dictate how we react. It's practicing the pause and just allowing, okay, what is this bringing up? What does this mean? Can you look at the situation, like in this specific situation, would you do anything differently? That's a good question. If you look at a situation as a whole, and I'm so all over the place anyway. If you look at any situation that you're in as a whole and your actions and what you know about anything at the time, would you do anything differently? And if you wouldn't, don't sit in it. It is what it is. Everybody has their own emotions. Everybody has their own things that they are dealing with. And everybody has their own stories, has their own, minds. So ideally, we communicate and we come together to work through the emotions, work through the energy, work through whatever it is that is coming up, so that we can heal it. And be better for it. This is, healing is moving it out of our energy system and then allowing new experiences, new energies to come in. That's the ideal. It doesn't always happen right on time. It doesn't always happen the way that it could, and that's okay. If it's not something, like, what I've learned is, if you don't move through it the first time, you will get a second chance and a third and a fourth and a fifth, depending on how long it takes for you to move through it. But eventually you will. Yeah. Anyways, that was a couple of things. So if I'm going to leave you with anything before I take my groceries out of my car and return to normal life and get out of my head, right now, if like emotions are coming up, don't live in them. Process them. Know that everybody is going through something right now. There's just energies happening. It's been an energetic week with all of the things happening. Be proud of yourself for all of the progress that you have made. Be proud of yourself for even acknowledging that there may be things that need to be addressed. Be proud of yourself for any growth, even if it's just this much, because this is not easy. It is not for the faint of heart. It can be absolutely awful. But there's always a beautiful side. There's always a beautiful side. So on that note, get grounded. Get grounded. Oh, and like, because like where I'm in McHenry County. Hopefully, like with these blasts coming through, the solar flares, we might be able to see the northern lights, and that has been like on my bucket list for forever. I am hoping that I can stay awake tonight and be able to see them, and and so, okay, pull it together. There's a lot of energies happening. Ground yourself. Don't live in them. Look at them, see if there's anything you can do about them, and move through them. It's, something, it sounds easier than it is, for sure. I can say that as I'm on the other side of it. When these energies come in for me, it's usually, I get really excited because I just do. I get happier. Ground yourself and don't live in the emotion, and be proud of yourself, and check out the northern lights, and have a beautiful weekend and have a beautiful day. Thank you.